What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers losing to the Sacramento Kings, and another dominant performance by Sabonis on Anthony Davis highlights even further that the Lakers need for another center, right? A true center, somebody that can match up against the Sabonises, the Jokic, the Zoos, right? Like the bigger, burly centers that Anthony Davis usually has his struggles with. Now, Anthony Davis is more than capable of playing the center position. He's actually very good at the center position, but he has those certain matchups that are just bad for him, right? He doesn't do good with the centers that are physical, got good lower centers of gravity, can kind of push him around and just kind of get into his chest, right? That is a real problem. So getting and, correcting that with bringing in a center is something many Laker fans, which is understandable, really are disappointed that the Lakers didn't do already, going in, getting a real center that could slot in off the bench, starting role, whatever. Now, there's a couple things that I want to talk about and kind of go through and highlight. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, so let me know down in the comments below. But a couple things, right? I don't think this season is over, so I want to start by saying that. I did a full video breakdown earlier today. Go check that video out after this one. Kind of going into the Lakers can still make the push. It's frustrating. I know that cooler heads prevail. Let's be positive. And I believe that the Lakers can still get it done. But quickly looking ahead, even if the Lakers win the championship this year, right? There's still clear needs on this roster, one of which is another big body center. The question is, who can you get in the offseason? And should it be somebody that can start, come off the bench? What manner, right? With Anthony Davis, he has been very vocal, very open, very public about, hey, I don't want to play center. I want to play power forward. When the Lakers won the championship, Anthony Davis, played power forward. Now, he did close, and especially in the postseason, right? Matchups, things like that, he was the center to close games, but he doesn't want to kind of go through the rigmarole game in and game out at the center position. If he had his preference, he could play the four, which would be fine, right? There's nothing wrong with going two bigs, especially if you have that skill set that's complementary, right? I mean, just to have the defense of like another center that could block shots alongside Anthony Davis and his ability to also help out on the perimeter, be the blind side, weak side help defender. There are a ton of benefits to having Anthony Davis play the power forward role over the center position. Biggest problem is LeBron James, right? LeBron at this stage of his career, and even more so next year, is very likely going to need to continue to play the power forward position. Now, we have seen in games down the stretch, he moves over to the 3 spot, which he can do, but can he do it game in and game out for 65 plus games, 36 minutes a game? Probably not. A great example, the Sacramento game that just happened. Harrison Barnes torched LeBron James. And a lot of it wasn't LeBron James just getting torched. It was LeBron James not even trying. All season, you can go through the archives of this season in these games. And there are, in every game, moments where LeBron James doesn't even try on defense. Literally is just standing there. Now, when he's playing the power forward spot, he can kind of get away with that because usually the weak side corner, it's usually the weaker shooter. So LeBron can kind of live with that result. But if he's playing the 3 spot where night in and night out, he's going up against twitchier, quicker, more athletic, can actually shoot the basketball type small forwards, guess what LeBron can't do? Check out and not play defense. He has to lock down. He has to lock in. So how do you play Anthony Davis at the power forward position with a center and then LeBron James playing the 3 if LeBron doesn't buy in on that side? Or what if he just can't? Right? Like maybe he can for a quarter or a stretch, but maybe he just doesn't have it in him anymore to be able to physically lock down on that side of the basketball. That could be a real problem. So to me, there's a couple options, couple solutions, right? First off is you just get a center for the Jokic and Sabonis matchups, right? Like the ones that Anthony Davis struggles with, more so for the playoffs, right? So we'll just use Valanciunas for an example because Valanciunas is a free agent. Just using him as an example, right? if Valanciunas is okay with coming off the bench and he's like, hey, I don't really care about starting or not, I just want to get the minutes, like as long as I play, 25 minutes a game or whatever, I'm totally okay with it, then great. Then in that case, I think that you should do that, because here's the kind of trade-off. The only real matchups that are a problem for the Lakers have been Sabonis and Jokic, right? So do you try to overcompensate for those 8 games a year and go get a center to start and have LeBron play the 3 and deal with that? Or do you just kind of have that reserve guy for those matchups so LeBron can still primarily play the 4, right? To me, I would rather do that. I would rather, if you can get a guy like a Valanciunas, where you don't have to overcompensate for matchups. Yes, you may have to go through Denver, Sacramento in the postseason. Well, that's why you have him on the bench, right? So in that matchup, hey, LeBron, it's the playoffs, dude. You're going to have to do it. I need you the first 5 minutes of the game, and I need you the first 5 or the last 5 minutes of the game. Guess what? You got to play the small forward in this matchup, right? That's different than him game in, game out, 65 games a year. The reason I keep saying 65 is because LeBron's got to play that many games in order to get all the accolades and stuff. So I expect him to play at least 65 games a year. So that's where I lie in that regard. But if you can get a center to kind of play the backup, well, then now you can kind of, trickle in. You have that guy for when Anthony Davis sits out. You can for a good majority of the game, play AD at the 4, so he's not constantly playing at the 5, right? You see Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis playing at times. I would like another coach that can balance that out better. But the point is, like, if you get a real center off the bench that is a better matchup for the Sabonis, for the Jokic, well, now you can match up without having to overcompensate or mess things up with the other teams, right? Because it's not just Sacramento and Denver that you have to beat, right? And you don't want LeBron James to be the point where he's a liability. The other options is, I think, either A, you play LeBron at the 3. So let's stick with Valanciunas. So go with Valanciunas at the 5, Anthony Davis at the 4. You have LeBron playing the 3. I think you need that 2 guard to be a legit 3-and-D style perimeter defender. I mean, top. In a perfect world, Jared Vanderbilt just magically becomes a 38% three-point shooter, because Jared Vanderbilt would fit that beautifully because he covers so much ground, right? He's able to defend just and basically teleport at times. You see him over here, and then he's over here, and he's back over here, and he's over here, and he's back over here, and then boom, he's blocking the shot down, and you're just like, how did that guy do that, right? But you need somebody that can kind of compensate for LeBron James playing the 3 and taking plays off, right? So you have something like that where you have a Jared Vanderbilt who can kind of, run and kind of overcompensate for LeBron. And then, you have D'Angelo Russell or whoever else, right? Whatever the Lakers end up doing, that's what you have. Or you shift LeBron to the point guard position and you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and a Dorian Finney-Smith, just using names, just names that we all recognize, right? But you get my point. You have 2 legit 3-and-D style players with LeBron playing the point guard, and then you have Valanciunas and Anthony Davis. Boom. Now you have everything you need. And here's the thing. In both of those scenarios, if LeBron James is playing the 3 or he's playing the point guard, which the Lakers won a championship with LeBron playing the point guard. The problem is LeBron doesn't want to play the point guard game in and game out. But it's like, dude, we got to do something here. Do you want to win championships or not? Because you playing the power forward and taking complete plays off is forcing Anthony Davis to play the 5, and we keep getting torched by Denver and Sacramento and all this and these big centers. So what do you want to do? LeBron's going to have to make decisions, right? LeBron's going to have to sacrifice like everyone else. But a couple things that you can do. If he plays the 3, right? Like I said, let's say it's KCP, right? We'll just use an example, right? Well, what you could do is on the offensive side of things, LeBron's the 3, KCP's the 2, D'Lo's the point, Davis the 4, Valanciunas the 5, right? You got all that. Okay, well, on the defensive side of things, what you could do is you could have Valanciunas play the center position, man the center position. You could put LeBron in kind of that free safety role, so almost go positionless in a lot of ways. And LeBron's kind of playing that free safety role, but still guarding the weak side corner so he can kind of get away with it. And Anthony Davis is kind of the patrol man who's defending out on the perimeter, but also kind of out in like that, almost like a zone, right? So basically, he's covering this square footage, and that's his job. And he has the length to kind of close out on guys. You have Valanciunas as the help defender if Anthony Davis gets blown by. And then LeBron hopefully can come over and help also because he's just standing there doing nothing. But that's why it's so important to have that two guard be somebody that can cover ground because they need to be able to recover, one, defend the best player on the other team, but also be able to help and, again, overcompensate for Anthony Davis, who is an incredible defender. Can he defend guys out on the perimeter? Yes, but he's still asking him to defend these quicker, twitchier, athletic wings who can just blow by him because he is still 6'10", right? Like, that could be a problem. So you need somebody that can overcompensate that. Same thing with the LeBron playing point. You still have the same idea. So, like, let's say you have KCP and Dorian Finney-Smith, like I mentioned, right? So basically what you're doing is you're basically bringing AD over. You're moving KCP to the 1, Dorian Finney-Smith to the 2. Anthony Davis is still playing in that, that zone area. LeBron James is playing that free safety role, and you have Valanciunas as your center. Boom. So now you basically are, on the defensive side, still letting LeBron basically rest and do nothing, and then you're able to still have the defensive schemes to kind of match up. It's the only way I really see that working, if I'm being honest. Do the Lakers need a center? Absolutely. Should the Lakers target a center in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, whether it's through, I would prefer a veteran center like a Valanciunas or something like that, just because, how much can you rely on like a rookie center is a question, right? But you never know. You hit the right guy. I mean, look like Dallas with Lively, right? You hit the right guy. You just need somebody that can kind of fill a role. That or like a Jackson Hayes takes a leap or something like that. Maybe a Colin Castleton. He's ready to go and he can kind of step in. We'll see. Time will tell. But I definitely think that they need a center. My concern is how do you compensate for LeBron James is the problem. And I know some people's answer is trade LeBron. It's not the answer, right? LeBron is still an incredible talent. But you could use that big body. To me, I would just go get a backup. Somebody that is fine playing 20 to 25 minutes a game, that they don't care if they start, right? They just want the minutes. Like, again, Valanciunas. If he's like, hey, I just want to win, and as long as I'm playing my 25 minutes a game, I'm totally okay with that, right? And then you have him in the backup role, and then, hey, we're playing Jokic, playing Sabonis. You're starting tonight. Okay, cool, no problem, right? So it's like you're guaranteed 8 games to start a season because you're going to play Denver 4 times. You're going to play Sacramento 4 times. You play the Clippers. We're probably going to play we play Minnesota. Guess what? So it's like, hey, you're going to start probably, 30 games a season, right? Most likely half the games because Anthony Davis is probably going to miss a couple games, although he's been very healthy this year, but he's still going to miss, let's say, 10 games, right? So it's like, hey, you're going to get those 10 games, plus you might get another like 20 or 30 games. So you're going to get probably 30 to 40 games as the starting center. Like, are you okay with, half the nights coming off the bench? If you can find somebody like that, I think that's perfect, right? So that way LeBron can still play the 4 on most nights. You're not asking him game in and game out to have to overcompensate. When LeBron doesn't play, right, like he has the night off, guess what? Hey, Valanciunas, you get to play the center tonight. AD's playing the 4. Let's go. Right? That's kind of how I would look at it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Feel the same way I do? Do you agree with my points? Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? If so, what do you disagree with? Again, I have to feel what your thoughts are. I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.